Right now on Chris 6 News, a closer look at allegations that put a youth kickball coach behind bars and the disturbing details at the center of a new lawsuit.
And a $7 million project to stop flooding in Alice is finally finished, with leaders saying it's already protecting neighborhoods from heavy rain.
And the city of Corpus Christi is considering cuts to its parking enforcement division, while some warn the plan could create new problems.
Good Tuesday morning, everyone. Can't you smell it? It smells so sweet. It's going to be a great day. I can feel it because you are waking up with the Hoffmans. I'm Brian Hoffman.
And I'm Michelle Hoffman. Yes, you're also waking up with meteorologist Stephen Jones. He has a look at our forecast this morning. Good morning.
Well, good Tuesday morning, you guys. You know, we're still waking up with plenty of that mugginess in the atmosphere. Temperatures are in the upper 70s, if not those lower 80s once again. But hey, it's the first full week of astronomical summer. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of this as we head through the rest of June and into July and even into August. Of course, that's when our temperatures finally hit their average peak for the year. For our Tuesday morning, though, you could see the view from our studio sky cam with a little bit of that cloud cover over downtown Corpus Christi. That's exactly what's helping us wake up to those 70s and 80s so far out there. Looking at the temperatures, Port Aransas, the hot spot so far per usual, 83 degrees as we're looking out there, 82 as you're working your way into Rockport, and then a few 70s as you work your way inland. Beeville and Alice both coming in at that 77-degree mark, 78 for both Kingsville and Hebbronville so far this morning. Through the rest of our Tuesday, we're going to see those temperatures ramp up, though. Plenty of sunshine puts us right back into the lower 90s for daytime highs. Expecting those winds out of the southeast today, sustained around 15 miles an hour, gusting upwards of 20 miles an hour at times. And when you account for that humidity in the atmosphere, still seeing those feels like temperatures past the century mark once again. The triple digits are expected this afternoon for the feels like temperature at least. So a good day to remember that heat safety still. The unfortunate side of things is that mugginess in the atmosphere not translating too much in terms of rain chances. Could still see an isolated sea breeze shower try to set up in the afternoons, but overall the main thing you're going to want that umbrella for is just a little bit of shade from the sunshine. So let's get you ready for your Tuesday morning as you're getting ready to head out the door. Looking at the traffic flow map, so far so good as we're heading out there. If you're hitting the Harbor Bridge to and from Portland, looking at that good and green color flow, and that's the same for our Robstown and Calallen commuters, both 37 and 44 coming in the clear as we're heading out there. For our major thoroughfares here in town, Ocean Drive, SPID, and Saratoga, even Crosstown Expressway, all looking good and green without any issues to report, which means one more detour inland, of course. Good morning to neighbors out there in Kingsville getting a look at your traffic flow. Also, no issues to report. A good and green Tuesday morning across the board, but like we talked about, it's the first full week of summer and we're definitely feeling like it. We'll give you a closer look at those temperatures coming up in our full 7-day forecast.
They patrol your streets, protect handicap and ADA parking, and enforce paid parking. But budget cuts could shrink their resources. I'm Drew Bishop, and Corpus Christi is moving towards eliminating its parking enforcement division. Last week, we got an anonymous email into our newsroom.
The city's Economic Development Department has officially eliminated the Parking Enforcement Division, removing junk and abandoned vehicles on the streets, ADA enforcement in parking lots, upkeep of the parking meters downtown. It's all going away as of July 31st due to budget cuts.
The email mentions vehicles blocking sidewalks, ADA ramps, and fire hydrants. That's all the responsibility of parking enforcement.
The point is that parking enforcement does a lot more than just issue citations and tow vehicles. They work to keep the streets, the kids, and the disabled safer.
Now, this change isn't official yet. Tuesday's City Council agenda reads that they are looking to authorize mid-year budget adjustments to account for the reduction of positions to revise parking meter revenue, among other changes involving parking money. The memo itself reads that they will reduce the Parking Enforcement Division, which includes 8 positions and its operating costs. The city says this move will save them $1.7 million annually on their budget. So, who will enforce parking rules, hand out citations, or remove abandoned vehicles? The memo says that code compliance officers will issue citations, but code compliance is still responsible for monitoring lots, dangerous buildings, trash, sidewalks, and more. And our anonymous emailer says that's not a viable solution.
Code enforcement is far too understaffed to do anything, and PD has far too many more important issues to deal with.
I reached out to Development Services, which manages code compliance as one of its divisions. They had no comment at this time. The issue will be discussed at City Council on Tuesday. Reporting from downtown, I'm Drew Bishop for Chris 6 News.
Drew, thank you so much. And you know what? Those changes won't just affect people parking along the side of the street. This could also have an effect on junk cars left in neighbors' yards and on the sides of streets. The issue will be discussed during City Council today.
So a multi-million-dollar project aimed at stopping flooding in Alice now complete. Local leaders cut the ribbon for the Virginia Street Drainage Project. Texas General Land Office actually gave the city nearly $7 million for this work. Crews rebuilt streets, upgraded storm sewers. They also improved roadside ditches. The goal to protect thousands of families during any future disasters.
Pretty bad weather the past week where we've had lots of rain, and I guarantee you if our new drainage system wasn't created, we wouldn't be standing here the way that we would. It'd either be mud or they'd still be stagnant water.
Now, the state says that these upgrades will provide the lasting benefits for years to come. A Little Miss Kickball League board member has been arrested on child grooming and online solicitation charges like we told you about yesterday. This is following a lawsuit filed by the children's parents earlier on this month. Chris 6's Claire Benitez-Cortez has the story.
In the 11-page lawsuit, the parents of the child identified as John and Mary Doe accused 38-year-old Harry Wallace Grabowski V as a brazen child predator who used his position as a board member and coach at the Little Miss Kickball Laguna League to sexually solicit, groom, and attempt to purchase sexual access to their 14-year-old child. The lawsuit claims Grabowski used social media, specifically Instagram, to send the 14-year-old unsolicited sexual messages, including sending the child a video of himself making inappropriate movements with his mouth with the caption, "Cheer up, sexy." Other messages read, "I love staring at you. I can get lost in my head by just staring at you. And I want you bad." The next morning, he followed up with her, telling her about a dream he had, stating, "I stole you away for 5 minutes at the fields after they turned all the lights out in my dream. It was amazing. I got lots of hugs and love, and some alone time finally." The child did not continue the conversation and reported the conversation to Instagram. Grabowski didn't stop there. The lawsuit also states he called the 14-year-old 2 times on the app, once at 10:32 and the other at 11:32. Finally, the lawsuit claims he sent her sexually explicit messages where he describes a dream of them both, and the 14-year-old reports the messages to Instagram. When the messages were not reciprocated, Grabowski sends her $200 via Cash App to lure her back into the conversations, and according to the lawsuit, purchase her silence.
All right, folks, it is 6:07 on your Tuesday morning.
And still ahead, the U.S. and Iran wrapped up high-level talks in Switzerland. What Vice President J.D. Vance says about the chances for a final deal. Good morning, folks. Welcome back. It is now 5:11 on your Tuesday. We got to get you ready for the day.
Yes, we do. And of course, we got just the man to do so. Meteorologist Stephen Jones. How you doing, sir?
Well, good Tuesday morning, you guys. Doing pretty well as we're waking up for the day. It's not looking too jacket worthy out there, and we are definitely feeling like summer as we're heading into this week. Luckily, it's still not quite as hot as what we saw last week, but hey, we're still going to be seeing those feels like temperatures passing the triple-digit mark as we're heading into the afternoon. Starting us off with a look back at yesterday, we ended up topping out at that 91-degree mark. That's 1 degree shy of the average where we should be for this time of year, 92, but well shy of the record 100 degrees we set back there in 2017. Also holding on to a rainfall surplus for 2026, still closer to that 5.5-inch mark. Hopefully we see that number continue to remain with us as we head more into astronomical summer. Here's a view from our studio Skycam now with downtown Corpus Christi in view. 80 degrees here in town. Winds out of the south-southeast about 6 miles an hour, continuing to bring in that moisture from the Gulf, and it's not going anywhere as we go through the next few days. In terms of the temperatures this morning, 80 degrees as you're working your way through George West and here in Corpus Christi. Rockport coming in at that 82-degree mark with the warm spot being Port Aransas, 83 so far this morning. Then a couple more 70s as you work your way inland. Freer for the cool spot coming in at 76 so far. Now for our Line of View to Animal Services dog walking forecast. Today we've got Bubba Gump Whitworth on the board here from Nueces County. Says their favorite place to take a walk is along the beach to feel the sand underneath his 3 paws. As we're heading out there for Bubba Gump Gumps Walk, though, 86 degrees by 10 a.m. Definitely feeling the humidity in the atmosphere. By noon, looking at that 89-degree mark with winds slightly less than what we saw yesterday. Still pushing about 15 miles an hour as we're heading into the afternoon out of the south. Now for our future tracker today, any of that cloud cover we do have this morning expected to burn off for most of it as we head into the afternoon. That sunshine puts us right back into the lower 90s for daytime highs, and of course feeling like the triple digits as we're heading out there. Then a little bit of a rinse and repeat as we're heading into our Wednesday. More of those 70s and 80s to start off the day. Maybe a few more 70s as you work your way inland thanks to some slightly drier air that works into the area. Dew points are still in the 70s though. We're still going to be feeling it as we head into our Wednesday afternoon, back to the sunny skies and back to the lower 90s with feels like temperatures pushing those triple digits once again. On the wind forecast today, we talked about those winds out of the south sustained around 15 miles an hour. You're going to see those peak wind gusts pushing 20 to 25 miles an hour as we head into the afternoon. Not quite as windy as what we saw yesterday, but still a breeze you're going to notice as we're heading into the afternoon. And here's a look by 3 p.m. as those feels like temperatures chase the triple digits, almost 102 here in Corpus Christi with the 105 mark as you work your way inland. Not quite that heat advisory or extreme heat warning criteria we saw last week, but still plenty hot as we're heading into our Tuesday afternoon. And then the heat is here to stay as we're looking at the 7-day forecast. Still 92 as we head into tomorrow. That drier air that works in does put us back down to 91 from Thursday through Saturday, but 90s across the whole forecast, and overnight lows not giving us too much relief. They're in the upper 70s and around 80 degrees for the whole 7-day forecast.
Stephen, thank you so much. The U.S. and Iran wrapped high-level talks in Switzerland aimed at reaching a final deal between the countries.
Yeah, let's hope so. And it comes after the countries reached a memorandum of understanding that, at least for now, has stopped the fighting. Scripps News Group senior White House correspondent Haley Bull has the latest.
Technical discussions are expected to continue this week in Switzerland. Vice President J.D. Vance says the high-level talks laid a, quote, good foundation, but is also clear there's more work to do.
We have two things. We have an open strait, and we have a country that will never have a nuclear weapon.
The United States is boasting progress after negotiations with Iran against a lakeside backdrop in Switzerland.
If Iran doesn't live up to their agreement, or if they're not behaving, I will do what I have to do.
The parties agreed on a roadmap in efforts to reach a final agreement, according to mediators. Vice President J.D. Vance says Iran agreed to invite International Atomic Energy Agency inspectors into the country, though Iranian officials at last check have not publicly confirmed that. President Donald Trump on Truth Social stating, quote, everybody is fully aware that Iran will agree to have major weapons inspections in order to ensure nuclear honesty long into the future.
We're obviously going to bolster that inspection regime to make sure they can never have a nuclear weapon.
The U.S. issued a 60-day sanctions waiver on the sale of Iranian oil as traffic increased through the Strait of Hormuz. Vance also detailed a proposal for unfrozen Iranian funds to be used to purchase American agriculture.
But fundamentally, that money is not going to be unfrozen unless we continue to see progress.
The parties also focused on deconfliction mechanisms for the Strait of Hormuz and Lebanon. That as Israel and Lebanon are expected to have another round of talks in Washington. But Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is holding firm on forces in southern Lebanon over concerns of Hezbollah threats.
Right now, over the next few days in D.C., the severe damage actually inflicted on Hezbollah has created a new reality in Lebanon, and that has opened a window for this potential historic agreement.
The U.S. is starting a monitoring mechanism through U.S. Central Command for real-time information about fighting in Lebanon, according to a U.S. official. The United States technical team includes members from State, Treasury, Energy, and the Pentagon, according to a U.S. official. Meanwhile, Secretary of State Marco Rubio is also expected to make a swing through the UAE, Kuwait, and Bahrain to discuss, in part, the Memorandum of Understanding and the Strait of Hormuz, according to a spokesperson. Haley Bull, Scripps News Group, Washington.
And, with that, of course, the Strait of Hormuz opened or closed definitely impacts you at the pump. So if you are planning on hitting the road this morning, here's what AAA says you can expect. We're still seeing a downward trend, right? Across Texas, regular gas per gallon averaging out at $3.38. Texas diesel, $4.39. Here in Corpus Christi, AAA says the average is $3.33, although I saw some cheaper prices on my way in. For you diesel users out there, Corpus Christi average $4.29. Well, it is 6:17 on your Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining us.
And still ahead, a new sunscreen ingredient is coming to the U.S. for the first time in 20 years. Why doctors say it could save lives.
Welcome back, everyone. So for the first time in 20 years, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration finally approved a new sunscreen ingredient.
Yeah, in today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither explains why some believe this new sunscreen ingredient will save lives.
It's no secret excessive sun exposure can lead to premature aging and skin cancer. But for years, the only sunscreen options to block these dangerous rays carried concerns over chemicals or a white cast on the skin. But soon, there will be a new choice in the U.S. thanks to this order from the FDA.
Many dermatologists are going to recommend it.
Dr. Deborah Sarnoff, president of the Skin Cancer Foundation, is already poised to advise patients to shift to the new sunscreen ingredient called Bemotrizonol, or BEMT, when it hits the market. While current U.S. sunscreens excel at blocking radiation that leads to visible sunburns, critics say they routinely fail to shield against deep penetrating ultraviolet A rays, or UVAs. But Sarnoff says BEMT provides that adequate protection and isn't easily absorbed into the skin.
The thing about this ingredient is it's been around in Europe since the year 2000, so we have a long history on it.
Sarnoff says it protects without the white streaks traditional U.S. sunscreens leave behind, and it's good for those who have poor reactions to other chemicals or people with sensitive skin. It'll need to be applied just like other sunscreens, 15 to 20 minutes before sun exposure, and then reapplied every 2 hours and after swimming or sweating.
We really feel that this is going to save lives because people are going to use the sunscreen that they like, that feels good, smells good, and that's cosmetically elegant.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Gonna have to try that out, folks. Well, hey, 6:22 is your time on this Tuesday morning. Still ahead in sports, the Mavericks appear to have found their new head coach.
And the Cowboys are counting down to training camp, and Lionel Messi makes World Cup history once again with a record-breaking performance.
You're watching Chris 6, part of the Scripps News Group.
A blockbuster trade has been made in the NBA.
That is right. And while this has been expected for quite some time, hey, folks, it has finally happened. According to ESPN, Milwaukee Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo has been traded to the Miami Heat and came down to the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. And the Heat were the ones to win the Giannis sweepstakes, but not without giving up young guard Tyler Herro and a few future first-pick rounds.
Hey everyone, I'm Larissa Liska. In NBA news, the Dallas Mavericks are close to finalizing a deal to fill their vacant head coach position. According to ESPN, Dusty May will become the new head coach in Dallas. May led the Michigan men's basketball team to a national title in 2026. Over the past 2 seasons, May posted a 64-13 record in Ann Arbor. May will replace Jason Kidd, who the Mavs fired after last season. In the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys are now less than 2 months away from their first preseason game. Dallas wrapped up mandatory minicamp last Thursday. Their focus now turns to training camp out in Southern California. This will be the 20th year at River Ridge, playing fields in Oxnard for Dallas. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer is entering his second season and says he's looking forward to his team taking the field again.
The 2 joint practices, that's kind of where the league's saying when you don't play your starters in the preseason, which we really don't, is that what's really beneficial in getting them ready to play in the regular season games and get off to a good start is having, more than 1 joint. And so I'm really excited about, getting a chance to compete against, the Rams and also the Saints.
The Cowboys training camp begins next month with rookies reporting July 28th. Their first preseason game is August 15th in Seattle against the defending NFL champion Seahawks. Lionel Messi is the new record holder for goals in FIFA World Cup history. He broke the record in the first half of Argentina's game against Austria earlier today. He followed that up with a second goal to close out the 2-0 win. Messi has scored all 5 goals for Argentina so far this World Cup. Incredible. I'm Larissa Liska, Chris 6 Sports.
All right, folks, 6:27 is your time on this Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining us.
And still ahead, we're learning new details about the abduction of Nancy Guthrie. What investigators say about a note sent to the media.
Right now on Chris 6 News, an update on the state of Corpus Christi's water crisis may be coming in today's City Council meeting. I'll tell you what we know so far.
Plus, construction on Saratoga Boulevard is changing how traffic moves this week. We'll show you what drivers need to watch for.
Got ahead of myself there. And a good morning to you, folks. Thank you so much for waking up with the Hoffmans. I'm Brian Hoffman.
And I'm Michelle Hoffman. Yes, get ahead of it, but that's okay. Let's also get ahead of the game before you head out the door. Meteorologist Stephen Jones is in with us to tell us about our forecast. Good morning.
Well, good Tuesday morning, you guys. You know, we are still feeling the mugginess as we're waking up for the day. Temperatures are in the upper 70s, the lower 80s, not looking too jacket worthy out there. Luckily, it's not going to get quite as hot as what we experienced out there last week. So far for our Tuesday morning, waking up to 79 degrees here in town, 77 as you're working your way through Beeville, with the cool spot being Alice coming in at 76 degrees. Port Aransas, the hot spot though, coming in at that 83 degree mark, and all of us with those winds out of the south still holding on to about 5 to 10 miles an hour, upwards of 13 miles an hour there in Port Aransas, likely to push 15 miles an hour as we head through later portions of this afternoon. Still out of the southeast though, giving more moisture into the area. In terms of our daytime highs, expecting them to ramp up towards the lower 90s as we're heading out there today, with plenty of sunshine overhead. In terms of 91 degrees as we're heading in towards here in Corpus Christi, but even warmer as you work your way inland, likely those mid 90s, and that translates to feels like temperatures into the triple digits once again. That's when you start to account for the humidity in our atmosphere. We're definitely still feeling it as we're waking up for our Tuesday morning. Unfortunately, doesn't translate to much in terms of those rain chances. Still can't rule out an isolated sea breeze shower into the afternoons, but overall the by far majority of us going to be staying dry as we head through each and every day this week. So let's get you ready for your Tuesday morning as you're getting ready to hit the roadways. So far on the traffic flow map, shaping up pretty well out there. If you're hitting the Harbor Bridge to and from Portland, looking at that good and green color flow, and that's the same for our Robstown and Calallen commuters, both 37 and 44 looking good and green so far this morning. For our major thoroughfares here in Corpus Christi, also pretty good on Ocean Drive, Crosstown Expressway, and SPID there. On Saratoga, we do have that one minor slowdown as you're working your way closer to Rodfield Road, but only those yellows, not going to be too bad as we're heading out for our Tuesday morning. One more detour inland takes us to Alice this morning. Looking at your traffic flow map, no issues to report so far, so for the most part looking like a good and green Tuesday morning as we're heading out the door, but like we talked about, those toasty temperatures are here to stay. We'll take a look at the rest of the week coming up in our full 7-day forecast.
New details in the abduction of Nancy Guthrie, the mother of NBC Today show co-anchor Savannah Guthrie.
According to law enforcement sources briefed on the investigation, a note sent to media outlets in February after Guthrie disappeared said she had died. It came after an earlier note demanding millions of dollars for ransom. Investigators believed both were legitimate communications from the person or people responsible for the kidnapping. According to law enforcement sources, in the second note, the kidnapper or kidnappers said they did not mean to kill Nancy Guthrie, but that she died shortly after being taken from her home near Tucson, Arizona. Now, more than 20 weeks since Guthrie was reported missing on February 1st, the Pima County Sheriff's Department says the investigation remains active and ongoing.
And we should be getting an update, folks, on the time frame for when a level 1 water emergency could be declared. In today's City Council meeting, City Manager Peter Zanoni will include an updated date in his weekly report as part of the agenda. In a statement from the mayor and city council, it was noted that the projected date for a declaration of a level 1 water emergency has been moved from December of this year to sometime in 2027. The mayor and city council credit recent rainfall here in Corpus Christi and across the coastal bend as major contributors to push this date back.
A traffic alert for you this week. The Texas Department of Transportation is closing several left-turn bays on Saratoga Boulevard between Weber and Castoris Road starting today. This is for construction, of course, and this means you won't be able to make left turns at intersections, including at Jefferson Street, Evans Road, and in front of Mary Carroll High School. TxDOT says the project is supposed to make left turns safer on that stretch of road by improving visibility. They expect the project to be finished by the end of the week.
Well, folks, it is 6:34 on your Tuesday morning. Before you head out the door, meteorologist Stephen Jones will have a look at your forecast.
And still ahead, Big Bird and Elmo are heading to the movies. Which streaming giant just won the rights to a new Sesame Street film? A local Vietnam veteran is being honored on a national stage. We'll show you how Raul Alvarado's legacy lives on after his passing.
Plus, thick seaweed is trapping endangered sea turtles along the coast. How wildlife crews are rescuing the exhausted reptiles and getting them back into the water.
And the man accused of orchestrating the murder of rapper Tupac is heading back to court. We'll tell you what to expect from today's hearing.
Now, 20 minutes of nonstop news, sponsored by Ewald Kubota.
A federal judge is rejecting former President Joe Biden's attempt to block the release of audio recordings. The recordings are from conversations connected to his 2017 memoir about the death of his son, Beau. A judge ruled the Justice Department can give the audio to the conservative think tank Heritage Foundation. The foundation argues the tapes should be public because they were part of a review into how Biden handled classified information. The Kennedy Center is asking a federal judge for more time to decide its future. Officials are weighing 3 options for an upcoming renovation. They could close the facility completely, they could host a minimal amount of events, or they could shut down intermittently while still holding some programs. A judge previously blocked a planned closure, and the judge ruled the board unlawfully voted to shut down the center. Officials plan to present the 3 new choices to the Board of Trustees next month.
The man charged in the murder of rapper Tupac will be back in court today. Now, Dwayne Davis faces first-degree murder charges. He's not accused of pulling the trigger in the shooting, but rather orchestrating Tupac's death in 1996 in Las Vegas. He pleaded not guilty. Today's court date is a status and readiness hearing where both sides will discuss proceedings, any outstanding motions, and the status of evidence review.
Well, hey there and happy Tuesday, Coastal Bend. Taking a look back at our Monday almanac data, you can see we ended up topping out at 91 degrees for the daytime high. Only a degree shy of that average for where we should be for this time of year, but well shy of the record 100 degrees we set back there in 2017. In terms of rainfall, didn't receive anything, but still holding on to about a 5.5-inch surplus so far for 2026. For our Tuesday morning, here's a view from our studio sky cam. 79 degrees here in town with winds still out of the south-southeast about 6 miles an hour, and a little bit of that cloud cover overhead going to start to burn off as we head into later portions of the morning and early afternoon. For our temperatures this morning, 83 degrees is the warm spot as you're working your way towards Port Aransas. Ingleside and Rockport both reading that 82-degree mark. More 70s on the board as you work your way inland. 79 for Robstown, 78 there in Alice, and then the cool spot this morning going to be Freer coming in at that 76-degree mark. For our line of Utah Animal Services dog walking forecast, today we've got Bubba Gump Whitworth on the board here. He's right from Nueces County. Says his favorite place to take a walk is there along the beach to feel the sand underneath his 3 paws. And as we're heading out there for Bubba Gump's walk, just keep in mind, going to be feeling the mugginess still. 84 degrees by 9 a.m. up to 89 as we're heading in towards that lunchtime hour. And wind-wise, slightly less than what we saw yesterday, pushing 10 miles an hour this morning, closer to 15 miles an hour as we're heading into the afternoon. For our future tracker, like we talked about, that cloud cover expected to burn off at least as we're heading into the afternoon. That puts us back into the lower 90s for daytime highs, and of course those upper 80s right along the coast. But when you account for that humidity, all of us feeling like the triple digits as we're heading out there this afternoon. Into tomorrow morning, pretty similar to what we're seeing right now. The partly cloudy skies, maybe a few more 70s on the board thanks to a little bit of dry air that works in, at least slightly drier air. We're still going to see those dew points in the 70s is what we're expecting. By tomorrow afternoon, though, more of that sunshine takes us right back into the 90s and doesn't look like the heat's going anywhere as we're heading through our first full week of astronomical summer. In terms of those winds today, like we talked about 15 miles an hour out of the southeast, sustained winds. Could see some gusts upwards of 20 to 25 miles per hour. Not quite as windy as what we experienced yesterday, but still a strong breeze you'll probably notice on that commute back home. For our feels like temperatures by 3 p.m. already chasing about 100 to 105 degrees for what our bodies will be experiencing out there. So looking like a good day potentially to bring the extra water bottle along, and either way remembering that heat safety as we're getting ready to head deeper into summer. Here's how it's looking on the 7-day forecast. 92 degrees by tomorrow, and then 91, 92, take your pick. That's going to be it for the 7-day forecast right now. For the overnight lows, not providing too much relief either. They're going to be in the upper 70s, chasing 80 degrees for the whole 7-day forecast.
Good morning, I'm Andrew Rafferty, and here is a look at what is happening today. Voters will head to the polls in several states for primary voting on Tuesday. That includes New York, where there are multiple open seat contests in the House. Pundits will also be watching the Democratic voting to replace retiring Congressman Jerry Nadler. In Maryland, a major race to watch is who's going to replace retiring Congressman Steny Hoyer. Voters in that state also determining their candidates for governor and other House seats. Voting will also take place in Utah, and there will be a runoff election in South Carolina to determine the Republican candidate for governor. The 2026 NBA draft begins on Tuesday. The draft will take place at Barclays Center in New York, home of the Brooklyn Nets. The first round begins at 8 Eastern on Tuesday, with the second round taking place Wednesday. The Washington Wizards have the first pick, followed by the Utah Jazz and Memphis Grizzlies. Among the top prospects are Cameron Boozer from Duke, son of former NBA All-Star Carlos Boozer. Also potentially going first overall is Darren Peterson from Kansas and AJ Dybantsta out of BYU. Amazon Prime Day begins Tuesday and runs through Friday. It's exclusive to Prime members and features deals on millions of products, including electronics, household essentials, and more. Customers are expected to spend roughly $26 billion this week. That would be up 9% from last year's Prime Day. Competitors like Walmart and Target are also holding sales to compete.
A former Nueces County fire captain is facing a child pornography charge following his arrest last week. Jesse Gill III was booked June 16th and is charged with possession with intent to promote child pornography, a second-degree felony. Nueces County ESD 2 Fire Chief Weston Beneda confirmed Gill was a captain with the department but had been terminated before his arrest for a policy violation unrelated to the charges. Gill's bond is set at $100,000.
I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Jacob Daniels, and sargassum has been giving some endangered turtles some trouble, and local rescuers are stepping up.
As we reported, the sargassum is piling up thicker than usual this summer. Typically, this is caused by things like higher than normal water temps or a nutrient runoff that feeds the seaweed. And wildlife responders say more than 100 green sea turtles have been rescued or documented in the seaweed, with crews patrolling the beach every night.
Kind of came in earlier and way more than usual. I've seen it worse maybe in 2008. It was really piled up on that side.
Residents say it's not just how much seaweed, it's where it's ending up.
Last year, a lot of it was washing up to shore, and this year it seems like a lot of it's just getting caught more so in the water itself, whether that be like rocks or, any sort of like sea creatures.
These green sea turtles are recovering at the Texas State Aquarium from a separate cold stunning event, but they're the same species now washing up in the sargassum. And I spoke with the CEO of the Texas State Aquarium, Jesse Gilbert, who told me why it's happening.
We'll see some turtles that are about a dinner plate size, kind of that age class, get caught up and just can't really fight through, whether it's the wind, the tide, and the sargassum. You combine all that together, it can make for a challenging time for the turtles to get out.
Responders say once they're pushed ashore, the turtles can get tangled in the weed and worn down, unable to make it back to open water.
And sargassum is a good thing. I know it's a nuisance from a tourist standpoint and on the beach, but sargassum actually acts as a nursery for fish. So some of the neat things to do, even when I was in school, is you'd go and you'd look in the sargassum and you can find a bunch of baby fish that you might not normally see. You can certainly find turtles.
There is good news. The Texas Sea Life Center says the turtles came in exhausted, but mostly unhurt. This week alone, the center released 77 of them back into the wild, and most of the time, the turtles can get released back quickly. They just need a small break.
Crews will continue to keep patrolling, but as a reminder, if you find a turtle in trouble, you can always call to get them some help. Reporting on Padre Island, Jacob Daniels, Chris 6 News.
After seasons of financial upset for the WNBA, things are finally looking up as interest for the sport is at an all-time high, with different cities fighting for a team in the league's expansion. Scripps News Group's Ben Higgins reports.
It wasn't that long ago that many experts thought the WNBA was living on borrowed time. But now arenas across North America are jockeying to land new franchises, putting women's basketball in a strong economic position for the rest of this decade and beyond.
We are so proud
of the women that stand out there on that court that get this opportunity, but also the fans who've been here from day one, who supported us when it wasn't popular.
Basketball Hall of Famer Lisa Leslie was one of the original members of the WNBA 3 decades ago and has seen the ups and downs for a league that has both expanded and contracted. I spoke to WNBA reporter Sabrina Merchant from The Athletic, who says the league is booming right now.
The last 3 years of the WNBA have just been like an incredible spike.
And league executives are cashing in by bringing teams to new markets. The Toronto Tempo tipped off their inaugural season in May, with expansion teams set to debut in Cleveland in 2028, in Detroit in 2029, and in Philadelphia in 2030.
This is the place to be because there's so much growth potential.
So what kind of growth are we talking about?
Joe Lacob bought the Golden State Valkyries for a $50 million expansion fee, and now they're $1 billion valuation. This is their second year of existence. The ROI on women's basketball has just been obscene over the last 5 years or so.
With that kind of return on investment possible, other cities are sure to get in the mix. Merchant says Boston could be on the table soon, and the WNBA would love to get into NBA markets in the South.
I wouldn't be surprised if like Charlotte or Miami or Orlando were back on the table just to cover more of that market.
And with national television ratings on the rise, even non-NBA cities like here in San Diego could be expansion targets as the WNBA looks to court new fans across the country. I'm Ben Higgins, Scripps News Group.
Well, Google is teaming up with the independent movie studio behind the hit films like Backrooms and Marty Supreme. The tech giant is investing about $75 million into artificial intelligence partnerships with A24. Google's AI unit DeepMind will work directly with the studio. They want to create new tools to produce and distribute movies. An A24 partner tells the Wall Street Journal that this will help find better ways to use AI in filmmaking. They say the goal is to preserve creative control. Netflix is bringing Sesame Street to the big screen. The streaming giant just won the rights to a new feature film. This sends a year-long bidding war with Universal. Warner Brothers also trying to get in on these rights before dropping out amid acquisition talks. The company behind the Aladdin and Lilo and Stitch movies will produce this film. Sesame Workshop will also help make the movie. Netflix bought the television rights to the iconic children's show just over a year ago.
A local veteran's legacy is being preserved through a national honor that recognizes Vietnam veterans whose service and sacrifice continued long after they came home. More than 760 veterans nationwide, including 32 from Texas, were inducted into the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund's 2026 In Memory program. The program honors Vietnam veterans who returned home from war and later passed away, ensuring their efforts are permanently remembered. At a ceremony in Washington, D.C., their names were read aloud as part of the annual tribute, and among them was Raul Alvarado. The Vietnam veteran was from Donna, Texas, but he lived most of his life in the Coastal Bend.
On behalf of our father, we honor my dad, our hero, Raul Boxer Alvarado, awarded 3 Purple Hearts and the Bronze Star Medal with Valor for his service to our country, the United States Army. Dad, we love you more.
Alvarado's family sent me some background info, and they say during the Vietnam War, he was shot in combat. For a time, some of his fellow soldiers believed he had been killed in action until years later when he was reconnected with his unit. Those who knew him say he was a devoted husband, father, grandfather, brother, and friend. He was known for his quick wit, giving heart, and the way he showed up for others. Raul Alvarado died on November 1st, 2025.
Authorities
now, 6 things to know before you go.
Authorities now say that someone sent a note to media outlets in February saying that Nancy Guthrie died shortly after she was kidnapped. It came from an earlier note demanding millions of dollars for ransom. The Corpus Christi City Council will discuss parking enforcement budget cuts today. A city memo shows a proposal would cut 8 positions in the parking enforcement division to save money. The move would save $1.7 million a year. And Little Miss kickball coach Harry Wallace Grabowski V is in jail for alleged child grooming. He's accused of sending a 15-year-old sexual messages online. The 38-year-old is now in the Oasis County Jail on a $150,000 bond.
A multi-million-dollar project aimed at stopping flooding in Alice is now complete. Local leaders cut the ribbon for the Virginia Street Drainage Project. Crews rebuilt streets and upgraded storm sewers. They also improved roadside ditches. And during today's City Council meeting, City Manager Peter Zanoni is expected to give an update on the time frame for when a level 1 water emergency could be declared in Corpus Christi. The projected date for a declaration of a level 1 water crisis has been pushed back to 2027. Starting today, the Texas Department of Transportation will close several left-turn bays on Saratoga Boulevard between Weber and Castores Road for construction. TxDOT says the project will make left turns safer on that stretch of road by improving visibility.
It is time for one final check-in on the forecast, plus, of course, the weather. Meteorologist Stephen Jones, tell us the good news there, sir.
Well, good Tuesday morning, you guys. You know, we are in our first full week of astronomical summer now, and we are feeling like it out there. So if anybody's got plans to head to the beach for a Tuesday, looking like a good day to do it. We're going to be looking for those ways to stay cool because we're expecting plenty of sunshine and feels like temperatures into the triple digits. Luckily, that means we're not experiencing any of that rain to slow us down for our morning commute out there. Here's a view from our SPID Skycam and a few more cars picking up on the roadway, but still not tracking any of those major slowdowns. If you're hitting the Harbor Bridge to and from Portland, looking at that good and green color flow, and more of the same for our Robstown and Calallen commuters. No issues to report there on 37 or 44 this morning. For our major thoroughfares here in town, Ocean Drive, SPID, and Saratoga all looking good, which means one more detour inland. For our downtown view, looking at it, Morgan Avenue and 44 both coming in pretty good. Just those minor slowdowns there, the yellows you can see on the map, but other than that, shaping up pretty nicely. Now let's get you that forecast as we're heading through the rest of this first full week of summer. Of course, things are feeling like it, like we talked about. Here's a view from our studio Skycam as we're kicking off our Tuesday morning. 79 degrees here in town with those partly cloudy skies overhead. That should burn off as we start to head into later portions of the day, but helping us feel the mugginess out there. 83 degrees, the current warm spot out in Port Aransas. 78 as you're working your way through Kingsville, with Alice coming in as the cool spot. 76 so far this morning. Through the rest of the day, though, we're all expected to go up towards those lower 90s for daytime highs. Winds out of the southeast about 15 miles an hour. Gusts upwards of 20 to 25 miles an hour, just slightly less than what we experienced yesterday. And like we talked about, those feels like temperatures pushing the triple digits once again as we're heading in towards 5 p.m. looking at about 100 to 105 is what it's feeling like, at least with our bodies experiencing as we're stepping out the door. The unfortunate thing is all that humidity in the atmosphere not translating too much in terms of rain chances. We could still see an isolated sea breeze shower try to set up, but overall looking like we're going to be staying dry as we're heading through the rest of the week. Here's how it's shaping up on the 7-day forecast. 92 degrees tomorrow, and then 91, 92. Take your pick as we're heading through the rest of the forecast. Overnight lows pretty similar in the upper 70s, if not 80 degrees for the entirety of the forecast.
If you have stacks of old mail sitting around, you might want to dig out expired Bed Bath & Beyond coupons. The company is holding a contest to find the oldest coupon that's still around. It's giving customers from Monday through July 13th to dig through their attics, junk drawers, and wallets. And the winner of Bed Bath & Beyond's legendary coupon hunt is set to get a $100,000 home transformation. And other prizes includes gift cards. The brand also is letting customers use old coupons of any date during the contest period at certain participating locations. But keep in mind, Bed Bath & Beyond closed its last stores in 2023, but Overstock acquired it and later opened locations co-branded with the Container Store. Oh my gosh, our old mail is not that old, so we got to call our moms or something.
Oh yeah, exactly. And go through any storage units. Let any family members know that may have those storage units. That would be a cool price. $100,000 in home renovation.
Absolutely.
Oh.
I mean, I'm just wondering how far back in time somebody's going to be able to find a coupon for. Was it going to be from 2000? You think there's anything from the 2000s or maybe the 2010s? We're going to see how far back they can get it, you know?
Yeah, without a doubt. Mike, thank you so much, guys. And thank you for tuning in. We always do appreciate it. We'll be back later on tonight with even more news from your neighborhood. But until then, we're the Sunrise Crew. And you're just amazing.